It's a saying that goes, the only reason why you find lizards in a wall is because there's a hole in it. Okay, guys. I'm sure you're asking why we have all of these pods. No, I'm not a ritualist. I'm absolutely not a ritualist. I'm just a filmmaker. So stick around. I'll tell you why we have all of these pods and why we are in an epic mood today. Hi guys, welcome to Unbox, and my name is Creative Ned. So we're doing something new. This is actually the very first episode of Nolly Classics. So Nolly Classic is a segment in this channel where we would visit all the old movies that made our childhood. I don't know how old you are, you watching right now. But as for me, these are the movies that crafted us, that made us, molded our values when we were growing up. Remember movies like Puff Puff, Willy, Karashika. So we'll be exploring all of these movies and then talking through them, touching their high points, touching their ideas. But these guys made great movies back then. And that was what made the industry what it is today. Last year, we saw a remake of Living in Bondage. I am sure there are so many remakes on the way. So in this segment, we'll be exploring all of this movie and giving us that nostalgic feeling that we had back then. Today, we're going to be looking at one special movie. So this movie made myself, my neighbors, and other kids around go out and do a remake of this movie. You know how wild our imaginations were. So we picked scenes from this movie and we acted them outside, but it always ended up in a cry, and then our parents would come and chase us back inside. Let me just give you the name of the movie so I'm not going around. So this movie is Igodo. So sit back and watch us break down the movie Igodo. But before we do that, here's a clip from Igodo.
Oh God! I'm afraid I can't stay now! I am dying! I'm dying! The baby is coming!
Guys, Igodo is an adventure movie. We've not really explored that genre of recent in Nollywood, but growing up we saw a lot of it. Egg of Life, there's so many of them where protagonists, which is your lead actor or your lead character, go on a journey to uncover or discover or recover something that is needed by the villagers to survive. So it all starts with chaos in the village, and the high priest comes with his all of these and then tells them they need to go on a journey, they need to send virgins or they need to send warriors to the evil forest. To the evil forest so they can go get some things or one thing. And funny enough, they're always very weird things. Eagles, virgin egg or something, or small picking beer or mosquito teeth. So many hilarious things. They go on this journey to get them and then bring them back to the village and solve a problem. So here's the gist with Igodo. So this movie, Igodo, was written by Don Pedro Obaseki and was directed by Andy Amenechi. Okay guys, here's the gist. So we all know Amadioha here. So Amadioha had a son in these villages. They are called Umuoka. Yeah, the people that live in Oka. So Amadioha had a son. His son's name was Kumere. So Kumere was raised by an orphan father. He grew up to become a very, very, very successful hunter. as it were, they always be bad belly, enemy of progress. So some people in the village were envious of him. So they set him up and they made sure they framed him perfectly that he stole the king's staff of office. And the villagers got together, captured him, took him back to the king. He was pronounced to be buried alive. Innocent guy. So he was buried alive. His head was left out of the ground. And then before he gave up the ghost, before his last breath, sad story, he cursed the entire village and said, this is actually an innocent kill, that it was framed up. And then because it's an innocent kill, that they will reap the fruit of this evil thing they've done. So he literally cursed them and then gave up the ghost. He died. A tree grew where he died. And then every of the first sons of the people of the land of Oka died. Okay, I'm not from Okasha. I'm not the firstborn. So they kept on losing their firstborns. And then it became a thing of worry for the king. So the king had to summon the Dibia. What would they do? What would they do as regards this? So the Dibia went in, did all of these things. And then he came up with a solution and said the gods told him that they need to send 7 people into the evil forest to retrieve the knife of Amadioha to cut down this tree. That's the only way the tree can go down. These 7 guys were iconic. I was super impressed with how they chose these 7 guys. The first person was Ikena, the wrestler, played by Obi Madubogwu. The next person was Woke, a drummer, played by Prince James Uche. We also had Izu the farmer, which was played by the popular Chidi Mokeme. Then we had Ago the warrior, played by Charles Okafor. Ebuna the hunter, played by Sam Dede. Okunta the climber, played by Ignis, Ekwe. And we had Igodo, the flutist, played by Norbert. You can imagine a flutist, a climber, hunter, warrior, farmer, drummer, wrestler going into the evil forest to retrieve a knife. Off my head, I would think you need to send your strongest warriors and all of that. But the gods requested that they went with people from different spheres because they had a role to play in the journey to the evil forest. The next question you'll be asking now is, how many died? How many survived? But we'll do that after this commercial break. Let's pay some bills. It's Black Friday season and I know everybody is looking out for deals here and there. Oche Academy is running a Black Friday promo on registration for the next batch. So, for those of you that don't know Oche Academy, Oche Academy is an award-winning hands-on brand communication school that offers courses in advertising, media, digital marketing, where you get top-class training. So the Black Friday promo offers you 10% off any course of your choice. You can learn to be a copywriter, you can learn to be an art director, a strategist, a digital marketer, or even a film director. So don't hesitate. Just head on to their website at www.02academylagos.com. Grab a hold of this sweet Black Friday deal. Find out what course is suitable for you. Register and begin your journey to a fulfilling career. So the journey begins, journey into the evil forest. So the 7 of them took off on a very strong note, hopeful that they were going to retrieve the knife of Amadioha and help save their village from the mishap that has been happening in the village. So the first obstacle they encountered in the evil forest were the children of the night. These children were creepy. Creepy. I couldn't sleep when I saw them. Little kids, plenty of them, laughing, playful. They came around them and then they were able to convince the children to let them pass by playing music. So they played the flute, the kids danced, the drummer too hit the drum, and then the kids were so excited that they danced one by one out of the way and let them pass through. So they continued their journey. It got to a point, Izu, who had lost his father prior to this journey in the village, heard his father's voice. I would have run away if I was Izu. My dead father They warned him. They literally pulled him. Don't look back. Don't go. Don't look back. He did, and then that was the first casualty on this whole journey. They lost Izu. Sad moment, but he went on. So they had to put someone on watch, and then they chose the flutist to be on watch for that night. Igodo was inexperienced, was just a flutist. He had no training, prior training about the forest, about the bush, about anything. He was placed on watch with a gun. Along the night, as he stayed during his watch, he heard a sound. He didn't even bother to check. His inexperience gave him the idea to shoot first and ask later. So he shot first, and when he went to inquire on what he hit with the bullet, it was one of them. Okunta the wrestler. It was so sad. They had a raffle in the morning, they were fighting, arguing, fighting themselves. How would he make such huge error? But because of the journey ahead, because of how much the villagers have put trust in them that they needed to get the knife of Amadioha back, they had to continue the journey and forgive Igodo for the mess he had done. So as they continued the journey, on their way they were ambushed. With some creepy guys. During the ambush, they fought. There was a great battle between them and they ambushed them, the three men. They fought for a while, but they lost another person. Oche died in the heat of the event. Oche the drummer. The anointing, those three men. After killing him, they took his drum and they were playing the drum. Got back to the village. In the village, they were anticipating, waiting for them. They got tired of waiting. They decided to take matters to their hand. So the entire village marched to the tree with their knives and cutlasses and everything they had, that they were going to cut down the tree themselves. Not waiting for the 7 of them that they had sent to the evil forest. So they marched on to the tree and then brought out their cutlasses and said, today you go down. You tree, you go down today. Started chopping the tree, chopping the tree, chopping the tree, chopping the tree. Then the messenger of the king ran fast towards them and told them that they had to stop. That every swing on the tree was cutting the king as well. So the king was literally connected to that tree. So they had to stop and revert back to their first and only option, which was the 7 of them that were on a journey to the evil forest to retrieve the knife of Amadioha. The 4 of them proceeded, counting their losses on the journey. Then they got to the river of silence. How hard is that? River of what? Silence. How hard is that? Just keep short and survive. That is all they're asking. Keep short and survive. As simple as that. Simple instruction. The head of the group, Ebuna, re-emphasized and told them that they were approaching the river of silence, that they needed to be absolutely quiet. Ikenna, being adamant, challenged Ebuna on a law that he did not design. It's just a reflection of what the chief priest told them, that when they get to the river of silence, nobody should say a word. He kept on arguing. Ebuna had to leave him because he knows you have to be careful. So he left him there and they continued on their journey. He was asking him, how would you know? How would you know you have to be quiet? So they continued. As they were crossing the river, something moved in the forest, and then Ikenna shouted, Agu, see. The Agu he was calling didn't even answer him. And then, whoa, all of a sudden he falls into the water, and so the crocodiles came and feasted on him, and then he died. So we had just 3 of them left to proceed to the cave of Amadioha and furthermore to the shrine of Amadioha to retrieve the knife of Amadioha to save the village. On getting to the shrine of Amadioha, which was inside of the cave of Amadioha, they met the guardian of the ancient secrets, who asked for blood in return for the knife. Boo! He actually thought it was a goat, ram, or one of the blood of an animal. So the hunter wanted to even go back to the bush and then try and capture an animal. But he stopped them and said, no, the blood of one of you. And then he became super sad. Because one of them had to die. We're really hoping all of them gets back, but one of them had to die. Funny enough, it wasn't the warrior. We thought the warrior was going to give his life. But the nigga was scared. He wanted to go back home to his wife. The hunter gave himself. I'm still feeling the pain still today. This one is okay, you don't have to cry here. I got you, bro. So the hunter gave himself. Why? In Act 1, in the beginning part, introduction of the movie, we realized that the hunter's first son was one of those that died as a result of the curse placed on the land by Amadio's son. So the hunter had absolutely no son to go back to, and he was really heartbroken from that experience. And then he was also the leader of the troop, so he really wanted to express and show the leadership virtue he had in him in form of sacrifice. So he gave himself. He was a real tussle. The flutist was like, what am I doing? I'm just a flutist. You need to go back to the village. Let me go. No. But the hunter gave himself. Super sad. Afterwards, the knife was given to them. I was not like, why didn't they even kill this man? They said, one of them. So the knife was given to them and they started heading back to the village. On their way back to the village, we thought everything had ended. Play back again to Act 1 before they left on this journey to the evil forest. The chief priest actually warned them and told them everything in that evil forest was not to be trusted. That they were mirage and a reflection of what they had in them. Or the stupid warrior who refused to give himself was carried away. So his spirit appeared in form of his wife, appealing to him. Igodo begged Agu shouldn't go, that this was a spirit. The idiot went, and then on impact of the embrace, his so-called wife turned into a monstrous creature and then walloped him. I was scared. The transformation was creepy. Even as it was way back, the transformation was creepy. She just transformed and then embraced him and hugged him till he died. What kind of death is that? The hug of death. Death of hug. Hug of... Die of... Hug of... Sorry we are laughing about it now, but back then it was so emotional. We felt bad. And then it was just the flutist left. On his way back, he encountered these little children. Those children were creepy. Those children were creepy. In fact, they were the most creepy things in that forest to me. They had white spots all over running. It was super creepy. Yeah. I think actually they were Ogbanjes because they said it. That they were the kids that never stayed. So the ones that died, and they were at the edge of the forest. They were always at the edge of the forest. They were not inside the forest with other spirits. But the thing about them is that they were not really evil. They just take things in exchange and give you something. So the flutist encountered them at the end. He took his bag, took some stuff from him, but he still had a knife with him, and then he went into the village. On getting to the villagers saw him, 1, 2, 3 person that he knew spread abroad that Igodo was back with the knife of Amadioha. And then there was a feast in the village, everybody was happy. Yeah. The flutist now became the one that everybody wanted to be with. I think before then he was a nobody. It was just, imagine just playing the flute. But this heroic act made him celebrated in the village, and then they named the village after him. So he moved from Umuoka to Umu Igodo. So great story, right? Great story. It was a superb story, a story that really drove and caught and kept us at the edge of our seats growing up. The creepy things really creeped us, and then the journey was a follow through for us. Igodo made our childhood a fun one, and then me seeing that movie again, I got very nostalgic. In fact, I had goosebumps running all over my body, my spine, my neck, everywhere. So we're moving on to a segment where we call What Were They Thinking? We all know filmmaking is a funny business, and sometimes you will see some things. In this segment, we talk about what were they thinking actually? What were they really thinking? So check out this thing, and afterwards we'll talk. So guys, hope you enjoyed this episode of Nolly Classic here on Film Unbox. We're going to be dropping a new episode every week from one of your favorite movies back in time. So if you have a movie that you want us to talk about, drop down in the comment section. Also, if you liked this episode, say something about it. If you didn't like it, also say something about it. Don't forget to like, share amongst the people that will like such content, and also subscribe to this channel. I beg of you, subscribe. And also hit the notification button so you can get to know about every new post, because there will be another episode next week. So guys, from myself, Creative Ned, this visual storyteller, and Tosan behind the camera, we say bye. Thanks for watching. See you next week, and stay curious.